Hey guys, episode 26 of the ISA portfolio series. As always, if you want to get a free share, sign up to Trading212, use my link and deposit £1 and we'll both get a free share. So I'll leave that in the description and as a pinned comment. Just looking at the Hargreaves Lansdown ISA, a couple of thousand down this week. Gold price has been sort of a little up and down. Silver's sort of holding up a little better, but both of these funds sort of down slightly, about 1,000 each. But yeah, that's sort of the main loss of the portfolio this week. The Trading212 is sort of broadly the same, although I have made a few changes this week. Had a bit of a change around to the ARC this week. It's showing a lower percentage, but that's because I've sold out of some positions in profit. I've sold out of GlaxoSmithKline in the invest account and the ISA. Just wasn't sort of really happy with where they're going. Balance sheet starting to look a little bit dodgy, and just the total return over time sort of doesn't look like it's going to be that good. Really just holding it for 5% dividend, which I think you can get better return elsewhere. So taking a little bit of a risk, but I think I'm going to have the medical side as Johnson & Johnson and then going with this ARC. So I've removed a lot of the positions in here that were non-medical, so the Pure Storage, the Zillow and 2U and that sort of thing, and I've added in some more from the ARC GPI, the genomic ETF, and yeah, so this is now basically a medical ETF from ARK Invest. Just they seem to be able to pick their medical companies pretty well over time. Arcturus already down 18%. It looks like I put a bit of money in there at a local top, but they'll come good, I expect. So yeah, the percentage is a bit lower now, but it's only because it's new investments. So that is going to be basically instead of Glaxo. So other main positions, I put a little bit more into Alibaba this week. You might have noticed I've sold off Amazon. Just had a sort of £100 or so in Amazon. Just think Alibaba's got a bit better growth, and they've had a little bit of trouble with allegations of monopolistic behaviour. So the Chinese government are investigating them. Just can't see this going anywhere really. Well, the allegations, I mean. Chinese have sort of made a lot of allegations over the past. Obviously being in Bitcoin, they've sort of repeatedly said that they're going to clamp down on Bitcoin in one way or another, and they never really do. So sort of hurting their own company, I just can't see is really in their interest. I've seen some reports that potentially the worst case scenario would be a fine of 10% of last year's revenue, which they've sort of got 7 or 8 times that in cash, so it wouldn't be a big issue. So yeah, might be adding more to this in the next week. So I kept Alphabet. I was really considering selling out of Alphabet and putting into Alibaba with this dip. Alphabet's more of a sort of steady grower over the long term, but hasn't really sort of done anything since I bought it. And obviously I'm not into the sort of growth tech stocks really. So the Bitcoin ETP still doing well. Expect that's going to, with Bitcoin being up sort of over the Christmas period as well, This should open up pretty strong on Monday. So that's looking good. BT sort of fairly flat. Took a little bit of a dip midweek, but up a couple of percent. So that's good. Sentiment up 3%, even with gold price being a little bit down. So that's not too bad. Digital Realty, starting to see a bit of strength now. I was sort of obviously wanting to buy a little bit more at this dip down here to sort of 129, 128, but not a lot of spare funds in the ISA. So we'll just have to put more into that, maybe at a higher price. Editas keeps sort of reminding me, I notice it in the pie, but then I see this in here. 173%, a little bit crazy. First Majestic, 1%. Again, sort of silver seem to be holding up fairly well. I expect this is sort of industrial demand pushing forward. A lot of silver used in some renewable technologies, solar panels and that sort of thing. So should see sort of fairly good demand going forward. And obviously you've got the investment sort of monetary demand as well. So pretty good overall. 73% on that now. That was since the beginning of this ISA, sort of back in April. Greatland Gold, the little sort of speculative exploration company, up 3.6%. It's really been pretty steady since I bought in. So very happy with that. Legal and General, again, nice 4% week. Took a little dip, but it's doing well. Nintendo, still sort of come back a little last week, but still holding up strong again. Sort of thought they would have fared a little bit worse with the sort of not so great news. Polymetal took a little bit of a downturn. Doesn't seem to like drops in the gold price very much, even tiny drops. But should come strong sort of early in the new year. Realty Income, still sort of a little bit up and down, but it's very small ups and downs. I didn't get in for this month's dividend, but start to get monthly dividends from that. So that's supply at Me Capital, the little penny stock, 14% in the last week, are starting to show a little bit of gain. Not sure if I'll hold that super long, but we'll see. Sylvania still, a little bit up and down. It's not responding to the higher sort of platinum group metals prices. Even rhodium up all-time highs, but I think they're reporting sort of in January, so potentially a sort of solid report and special dividend announcement. So I expect that'll do pretty well in January. Obviously, it's a very large position, but got to be hopeful. Taylor Wimpey still on the up. Again, keeps taking little dips, but overall, obviously doing pretty well on that. I do want this to be a larger position, but I'm not too sure about adding it at these prices. It's going to bring my average up sort of quite a lot. So probably just leave that as it is for now. Again, that's sort of over 2,500 now with the extra lot in the invest account. So we'll see. The Tesla share flat for the week, unbelievably, but still sort of up on the month. Again, I was really considering selling this and putting it into two other stocks. It's quite a big sort of position now, even though it's only one share. But be interesting to see if the bulls are right. So we'll see. Virgin Galactic still 8% up on the week, but obviously had its real dip down after the failed spaceship launch. Probably one I will sell if it sort of pumps back into profit. I did sell the other Arrival SPAC when it was sort of well up. It's kind of what I was thinking to do with this, to be honest. And Volkswagen sort of fairly flat for the week. And then Porsche will be in the invest account as well. So yeah, that's the ISA for the week. Fairly flat overall. Yeah, sort of basically hobbling around 20 odd %. Although it keeps making adjustments to the invest account, to the invested amount. I still count this as sort of 30% up. Obviously, I've only deposited 20,000, so yeah, count that as just over 30% up. So over to the invest account. Made a small £250 deposit this week, and just adding to my existing positions. So bought a little bit more of 3M. They're again not really sort of doing too much. Did receive a few dividends over the last week. 3M, Archer Daniels, and what else did I get? Raytheon and Shell. So yeah, that was good. They're only small, to the ex-dividend date sort of was before when I bought most of these shares, so the first quarter dividend next year will be bigger. So Archer Daniels, pretty flat for the week. This isn't a big mover, so again we'll be putting more money into this when I sell out of other things. Broadcom, quite flat, but would expect this to be a big mover. Projected earnings are looking pretty good for the next year or two. Caterpillar, fairly flat. The US markets really in general have been quite sort of flat this week, or over the last couple of weeks. Diageo, still, as I say, I think this is sort of still a little bit of a high price, to be honest, for everyone being shut, the pubs shut. So yeah, wouldn't be buying too much more of this at these prices. I know we've just got a Brexit trade deal, but yeah, not sure it's going to be that strongly for this. We need the country open for this to be that strong. I don't think they sell all that much direct to customer, so yeah, wouldn't be sort of too happy about buying at these sort of lofty valuations, but it's a long-term hold. Intel sort of had its dip down in the last week. Haven't added any. I did add a couple of shares this week as part of the deposit. Brings the average down a little. Johnson & Johnson, fairly flat for the week. Haven't added anything to this. Kia Group, again, sort of fairly flat. Don't think they're affected by the lockdowns all that much. They're still sort of told to stay open, but need to sort of hear more of a sort of quarterly report from them, and paying down debts and that sort of thing is really a longer term project for the CEO. So need some news for that to move, I think. Lockheed, fairly flat, but I did add a quarter of a share with the deposit this week. So looking pretty good for them. Neo, still wondering whether this is going to move. Keep seeing reports about whether it's going to be huge in 2021, compete with Tesla, and got their battery swapping service and all that. It's not really one for me. I just hold it, sort of have a bit of skin in the game in the EV sector. But I think if this rocketed up, I probably would just get rid of it. So Porsche basically moves the same with Volkswagen. So that's pretty flat. Raytheon, fairly flat for the week, but I've added a little bit more to this. Just the one share, I think, with this week's deposit. Tinto, fairly flat for the week. Not too much going on. Haven't had anything to this. Shell took a little bit of a down. Oil price has sort of seen a little bit of a hit again. But yeah, obviously still doing well on this longer term. It's just sort of rocketed up ever since the vaccines, really. But yeah, I think this would benefit from everyone getting vaccinated and country opening up again. Would help them sort of get their money in to keep transitioning into renewables, but they need the oil money first. And TSMC, put in a position into them in the last week. It's on the long-term pie, but I haven't sort of bite the bullet and put any investment in yet, so thought I'll finally do that. This has to stay in the invest account, actually, because they don't offer it in the ISA just yet. I assume that's sort of rules that it's not allowed in the ISA, so this may have to stay in invest forever, but it's normal dividends, so this can just be part of my dividend allowance. And ideally, as I say, never sell, so I don't have to worry about capital gains. I'll just use the dividends forever. So yeah, this will be one I'll add to in the invest account and maybe keep in there forever. Tyson Foods, just added one more share this week, fairly flat for the week. Brought the average down a little bit because it did take a dip during the week. Still a little bit of trouble with them, but longer term seems fine. And Western Digital, I did add another share. Again, it's pulled back a little bit. I seem to have bought sort of at the local top. Could have waited for 50. But again, sort of projected earnings look pretty good. Yeah, so that is the invest account. So it's pretty flat. I've just added 250 quid. That's the only reason it's gone up. It actually lost a little bit sort of on the week, took a little bit of a dip. So yeah, it was 9% sort of earlier in the week. Although the invested amount again has gone up slightly. But yeah, so yeah, leave your thoughts in the comments below and drop a like, as always appreciated, and subscribe if you want to see more. See you soon.